Okay, hey, we're back, and you know what? That was a fantastic story about my lost ring, but I got to tell you, we got an even better story today. It's about Indy Women in Tech, and I want to introduce some great new people that we've just been introduced to. We have Karen Maginn, Director Chair of Indy Women in Tech, and Senior Vice President at the Guggenheim Life and Annuity Company. How are you doing?
Hi, well, thank you.
You're more than welcome. And we also have Mayor Greg Ballard, Director at Indy Women Tech. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be here. Thank you so much.
You are welcome, very welcome. And I tell you, we're so honored to be joined by such an elite and amazing group of leaders in Indianapolis. Mayor Ballard, thank you so much for joining us on The Edge. Let's start with Indy Women in Tech and what it's all about. What's your mission, and what are you up to here in Indy?
Well, we're doing a lot here. We're just over a year old, but we really moved the ball, I think, significantly. We wanted to really engender interest in the STEM fields for young girls. We're doing that quite a bit, and I'll tell you how we're doing that in just a second. But also, we want to provide training for women in transition, people, maybe stay-at-home moms, people who want to change their careers, providing opportunities for them to go to get into the tech fields, and we're doing that also. We're helping them get through that. And so a lot of the initiatives that we've done so far, we were the main sponsor of the statewide robotics initiative. So we've affected, I give an example of the impact that we've had. A couple years ago, there were about 70 elementary schools doing robotics in their schools. With 1 year, with Guggenheim's help, over 500 in 1 year.
Wow.
And we will increase that by another probably 300 to 400 this year. So Indiana really is becoming the robotics kind of capital of the nation. And so that's one thing, the STEM Day for middle school girls that we just completed at the University of Indianapolis. We did that with Women in High Tech in Conner Prairie. Following what they do at the Passport to High Tech, which they do every year. We did it at UIndy this year. Did 600 middle school girls from IPS and Warren schools. Very big success. And we're also partnering in the career transition piece, partnering with Ivy Tech and John Qualls out at the 1150 Coding Academy, and putting women through these sorts of courses so they have the skill set and even the soft skills. They train them in those sorts of things also to put them into tech careers. So there's a lot going on, not to mention a tournament that's coming up here in a couple of weeks too. So, I mean, there's a lot of activity in that regard. But we've been very conscientious to partner with a lot of different people like Tech Point Foundation for Youth, Ivy Tech, and 1150, and so many other people that we really do partner with.
Yeah, there's a great number of Indianapolis organizations that are dedicated to inspiring science and engineering with youth, and you mentioned a number of them that are steadfastly focused on growing the visibility and the career paths that are so desperately needed.
Yeah, we certainly do need to keep them on that path, and I tell people it's the right thing to do, but it's also a workforce issue. We need more women in tech to fill the jobs of the future.
Absolutely. No, I agree. What does that process look like? So if there's a woman who, let's say she is in one career right now and she wants to make that transition, how does getting involved with this organization, what's that process look
Karen,
like?
you may take that
actually, yes, we would love for them to come to our website. It's indywit.com. There's an application available to fill out so that they can start into our process. It can be somebody that's a stay-at-home mom wanting to re-enter the career, or it could be somebody wanting to career up as far as maybe in a career right now and they want to go into the tech, or they may need some financial support to get into the educational, which we have partners with 1150 as well as Ivy Tech. We currently have a cohort. Right now at 1150, we have 7 young women going through the program. They'll be graduating here in the next week. We also have a new cohort that is at Ivy Tech, 17 women that will be starting the program here in the next week. So they can reach out to our officers at the Indy Women in Tech via our website or our email.
Great.
There's so much. You work with so many of these amazing partners. How do these partners come to be? Because, I mean, they can all do their own thing. They can focus in their own areas. But, I mean, getting them all together, that's a bit of a challenge.
I was able to help with that a little bit.
You know a few people.
I know a couple people here and there. And we were very conscientious about creating partnerships. We didn't want to recreate the wheel, but we wanted to help people who were doing good work and maybe do something different, which is the career transition piece, I think is rather revolutionary, frankly, in how we're doing it. All that said, there were robotic competition. As you know, I started it in the city. It became a big deal in the city. The state kind of said, "Hey, let's look at that." And then I was able, they gave it to Tech Point Foundation for Youth to run it, but they also told them go search for money. I was able to kind of put some pieces together. I knew Laura over there, Laura Dodds, wonderful lady doing great work. And so, we were able to kind of make that connection. John Qualls, who runs 1150, is a former jarhead, just like I am, right? So we kind of had a connection. I knew a little bit about him. He knew a little bit about me. I have connections at Ivy Tech. I knew Sue Ellsperman pretty well, and we didn't talk to her about this first time, and it kind of rolled from there. So we were able to kind of make those connections because we're kind of a funding mechanism. But what also we provide child care and transportation needs and things like that. We help so that women can go through these courses, and again, that's partners too, mentoring partners, transportation partners, people that we're trying to make it so they can get through these courses. And I think I just know some people that can help us in that regard. But now we're at the point where people are coming to us, right, Karen?
Right.
People are coming to us right now and want to partner with us because they know what we're doing.
And it sometimes does need that type of momentum to get going, and then the wake that you're leaving behind will certainly bring a lot of other organizations alert to what's happening and be able to jump on that bandwagon. That's fantastic.
Your team recently had the Ignite Your Superpower STEM Day. Can you tell us about that? Because it sounds incredible.
Oh, absolutely. It turned out to be a huge success. We had 600 middle school students, as Greg mentioned, from Warren Township as well as IPS. We had 60 exhibitors for the girls to have a hands-on experience, and we actually had about 300 volunteers that came in to be the superheroes. Each of the girls were in groups of 5 with a superhero, and they were so engaged to all of the different exhibits that were hands-on experiences, and they really enjoyed it, and it ended up being a huge success, and we're looking forward to having even a bigger STEM Day next year.
Bigger than 600 middle school girls. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's intense.
It was incredible. It was very orderly.
Scary
though.
could be another word for it.
You'd think so, but actually it was very orderly, and we had Pippa Mann there along with Sarah
Oh,
Fisher
cool.
just to kick it off. So it was pretty neat.
Well, we got a friend in Sarah Fisher. That's fantastic. And for those of you that don't know what STEM is, I wanted to pull back a second, and it is certainly getting more and more popular, but STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Right.
And there are programs that we're seeing starting to rise all across the state and the country. And there is such a level of adoption or I want to say new growth in this space that it's great to be able to see this type of amplification happening. But we're seeing that it's embraced by society. People are wanting to jump in there, especially for middle school and both boys and girls. This is where you really capture that scientific methodology mindset, and you can stoke that flame, right?
I think that's absolutely true, and the numbers are pretty clear going forward. There's going to be a huge tech workforce gap in the near future, and middle school is kind of critical time where people have diverse interests, a lot of people coming at them, a lot of social pressures, a lot of that stuff is going on right there. And particularly girls might want to say, hey, I want to go this direction, not this direction, even though they really are interested in building robots or being a rocket scientist or being a doctor or whatever it might be. So we want to make sure in particular that we capture that audience. We really think that's important for the future workforce. And plus, they can pursue their original dreams without being sidetracked.
Right, it really inspires them at that age, and it gives them a lot of encouragement.
It gives them the reality of what they could be.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
there's a pathway, and there's an entire support system to be able to do that.
Well, it opens a whole new world of things I'm sure they don't even realize it's even. I mean, when I was little, I'm 31, and when I was little, I didn't know I could build robots for a living. Like we didn't grow up knowing that you could do that, or that you could be an astronaut, or whatever the case may be. You could be a doctor. So I think it's so important we grab these girls young and let them know you can do any of this. Like go do it.
Right. The opportunities are limited.
Yeah, that was the message of that day, and because we saw there weren't a lot of men there. There were women there.
Girl power.
So they could say
Right.
they could see that they can have this career.
Well,
path.
they were afraid of 600 middle school girls
right.
building robots.
Men knew better to come that
I
day.
mean, that is scary.
That might have been true.
Yes, we all got the memo. Steer away. Steer away. You also have another event coming up just around the corner. That is Indy Women in Tech Championship at the LPGA, right?
Right.
So what's that? What's that all about?
That's actually the week of September 4th. The tournament will actually be on the 7th, 8th, and 9th. We have 144 professional golfers that will be attending and playing, obviously. We're very excited about it. We have a summit for women on Tuesday. We have a Pro-Am outing on Wednesday, and then the tournament kicks off on that Thursday. We'll also have the Eureka, which
Eureka
is
Exchange,
which is going to be a hands-on STEM day once again with hands-on experiences for young girls as well. And then we'll have the Bite experience, which will be different restaurants around Indy that will be coming in and setting up, and we're excited about the whole event. Yes,
Hoping for good weather, probably.
absolutely,
Right? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, you do with golf. And our main speaker, the keynote speaker at the summit, is actually Dr. Mae Jemison, the first African-American woman in space.
Right.
So
Oh, wow.
she'll be in Indy that day.
Talk about a
talking-
superhero right there.
That
No
is
kidding.
that's somebody right there.
That's out of this world.
Oh,
You watch The Big Bang Theory. Is that right?
I do. We do.
you took one for the team. Honestly, I
welcome.
mean that was a bad dad joke, and
Yeah.
you took it away from me.
I did it for you.
I can see that too. All right. So, Mayor Ballard, what kind of growth have you recognized in Indianapolis over the last few years? The growth of Indianapolis tech specifically.
Well, it's getting pretty obvious that I told people all the time when I was the mayor that we're not Silicon Valley, we're not Austin, we're not Boston, but right below that, we're kind of that tier, and people are starting to recognize this. A lot of people were worried when Salesforce bought ExactTarget, and they thought, what's going to happen here, right? Well, the fact is Salesforce is moving people into Indianapolis. One, they like the cost of doing business. They also know their workforce is here. And so they're bringing a lot of their functions here that might have been in San Francisco before. So they're going to be able to get the same quality of work, but at a different price because everything's virtual with them anyway, right? So so it's very important to them to be able to do that. And so we're able to grow companies. And people are starting to see that this is a good place to do it. You can raise your family here. It's a nice atmosphere. Cost of living is great, but compared to the salaries, it's really a good cost of living, right?
Absolutely.
Compared to tech salaries as you go forward. And so that's why this is important to us, and we want to continue to grow those fields. I think it's really one of the disciplines. We grew up with logistics and motorsports and manufacturing, things like this, but I think IT is one of those areas that Indianapolis is really getting recognized for. I don't think we have to push it so hard right now. It's kind of happening organically, and people are starting to feel it. All that said, we're a little too humble in this regard, and we need to kind of preach a little bit here.
I hear that so often. We don't shout to the rooftops what we have here.
Right.
Everybody's so quiet, and I don't want to say docile because they're very energetic. They're very aggressive, but it just doesn't.
We're too humble.
We are too humble, so we gotta toot our own horn regularly.
It's part of the charm that we are like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you have to do it, it's how you do it, right? It's all
Yeah.
how you do it. And so, we'll figure that piece of it out, I think, pretty well because there are great people, great organizations like TechPoint Foundation for Youth, and so many other people that are really kind of pushing this ball forward for us.
Absolutely.
In what ways can organizations and companies get involved with Indy Women in Tech? Like, how would you like to foster more relationships or more partnerships? What are you asking from? What are you asking from other companies out there? How can they help?
Well, we would definitely like sponsorship, and also as far as donations and volunteer opportunities. As far as that goes, we're still looking for other partners on the educational side. We're also looking for partners on the work placement. So we are really building a lot of partnerships out there. But there's a lot of opportunity.
And the tournament is not only bringing visibility, but the proceeds from that are designed to put more money into the foundation to put more women into tech. So that's why we really do want people to support the tournament as much as possible because it will put more women into tech with the funds.
And the LPGA is at the Brickyard Crossing, which is an unusual area for an event of an LPGA. Usually it's in a suburb.
Yeah, so we wanted it in the city.
In the city.
And again, I knew a couple of people over there.
Yeah.
And we were able to make Doug and Mark and Allison and that team are terrific. And they, when I said we want this to be an LPGA Women in Tech initiative, they were like, absolutely. They were great about it. You know, they know, like most people do, there has to be a bigger cause. You know, it's not just about the event. There's always a bigger cause here in Indianapolis. That's why our Super Bowl was so successful, right? Because there's something more than the event. And for the LPGA coming here at Brickyard Crossing, it's about something more than just the event.
Right.
Oh, fantastic. Well, how can we help in this matter? We're always about getting more women into tech. I think it's notable that, man, there's such a value with just not only fostering good path in tech, but I mean, let's face it, women are smarter.
You heard it here first.
Well, it's funny how I never hear a man say otherwise, ever.
I think my wife is watching, and that was my contribution right there.
You know, we're simple creatures,
You
right?
caught the lost wedding ring story, right?
Yes, I got that. So, but it's just, I think it's just important that you know, we feel this. Karen feels. We all feel this pretty strongly that the girls growing up need to feel that they have the opportunity that they want to have, and are not shut off.
Right.
You know, when I grew up, I got a little age on me. That wasn't really not the case. Women didn't even play sports in high school.
Right.
When I was in high school, it just didn't happen. Right. So I mean, that's how far back I go, and I can remember these things. And we didn't realize it at the time, but we were really shutting them down. Mm-hmm. That's what we were doing, and we'd be doing it unconsciously, but that's what was happening at that point in time. And we're at the point now, because a lot of people plot a lot of ground, that we really have the opportunity here to make a difference.
We are women. Hear us roar.
Yes.
So we certainly want to help you out, and in any way, shape, or form, please let us know what we can do from a digital marketing standpoint or from a broadcast standpoint. If you want to get the word out more often, we would love to be able to offer our services to be able to help you in that regard.
We certainly appreciate that.
I appreciate
Wonderful.
that.
Absolutely.
And you do need to give Paul Poteet a shot. Just so you know.
Uh-huh.
I've done a lot of things with him.
Yep.
We opened up an Indy Fringe together one year, which we loved. He's really funny. But whenever he is on a show with me or whatever, he's never in the studio, ever. What is that about him?
I don't know.
What is that?
Maybe he's avoiding you. Or maybe
I
you
don't
and
know.
Paul Poteet are the same person.
you're-
Maybe we are.
You know, I mean, it could be that. I think he's just like a talking head. He really never.
And I think he's a hologram.
There it is.
I saw the background. You notice all those fake computers behind it? Did you see all that?
It's on a loop.
Is it? Yes. I think so.
Well, here's how you can connect to Indy Women in Tech. You can go to the website, indywit.com. You can also follow on Twitter, Indy Women in Tech, and obviously Mayor Ballard. Facebook is Indy Women in Tech, and on Instagram, Indy Women in Tech. Again, solid,
Good
consistent
job.
branding.
Yeah.
Fantastic,
Absolutely.
fantastic. Any final thoughts regarding Indy Women in Tech and the tech scene and growth here in Indianapolis?
It is growing. I think IWIT is making a difference, and we certainly want people to come out and enjoy the tournament. I've been to lots of different tournaments in my lifetime. By far, the LPGA is the most fun for a family to come out and watch. It's just, the women are not only great golfers, but they're fun afterwards when they're done with their round. So it's great.
And I just want to mention that we did make it very family cost friendly. So it's only $17 for an adult, and the children are free to come in as well.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, fantastic. Final word here is just be careful about the robot building, because it could get out of hand. I'm just saying.
I know.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and we're certainly going to lift this show and really get the word out post show. So thanks for your time and your visitation to the studio, and Mayor Ballard. It was an honor, and I appreciate all the service that you did to the city. It's just fantastic.
Thank you. It was a great honor.
I appreciate that.